So for quite a while now, Damian Lillard has been at the center of trade speculation, and this ongoing drama is taking so long to materialize that many people on social media are simply bored or annoyed by the ongoing discussion. Now at the time I'm writing this script, Lillard is still a Portland Trailblazer, and he may or may not be a Blazer by the time this video is published. But either way, I think it's worth considering the massive ripple effect if Damian Lillard gets exactly what he wants. Now let me be clear, Damian Lillard is one of my most favorite players of all time, and this video isn't about me expressing my opinion about whether or not the Portland organization owes it to Lillard to trade him to his desired destination, but it's simply about the ramifications of that trade potentially going down. So as things stand, Lillard has a whopping 4 years left on his contract, thanks to him signing a supermax extension a little over a year ago. Based on his contract, he'll be paid about $45 million this upcoming season, and then $48 million over the 24-25 season. And then he'll be paid $58 million for the 25-26 season, and then $63 million for the 26-27 season. But he does have a player option for that year. So at minimum, Lillard officially has another 3 seasons left on his contract. Now Lillard has made it abundantly clear that he's demanding to be traded specifically to the Miami Heat. And just several days ago, a report broke that if Lillard was traded to a team other than Miami, he would then immediately request to be traded from that team as well. At this point, his agenda appears to be crystal clear, as it seems he'll do just about anything and everything to get his wishes to become a reality. Now, players forcing trades to specific destinations isn't anything new. For example, I vividly remember the drama of Carmelo Anthony forcing his way out of Denver to the New York Knicks in 2011. He was able to do this because he made it abundantly clear that he was heading to New York in free agency at the end of that season. So in a way, the Nuggets' hand was forced, because they didn't want Anthony to become a Knick without getting anything in return. Basically the same thing happened a year later with Dwight Howard, when he forced his way out of Orlando to become a Los Angeles Laker. So like I said before, players forcing trades to specific destinations isn't anything new. But what is new is players forcing their way to specific locations with so much time left on their current contract. In the cases of both Carmelo Anthony and Dwight Howard, they were able to control the situation and designate their landing spot because they had free agency approaching at the end of the season. With that dynamic at play, the power move made sense in favor of those players. But this is where things get a bit different in the case for Lillard and for some other modern NBA players. Just 1 year ago, Lillard signed a supermax contract with the Blazers, which had many people believing that he was going to be a Blazer for life. And even ESPN described the situation by saying that Portland had locked up Lillard for another 5 years. Well, just over a year later, Portland fans are emotionally preparing themselves for the departure of their franchise legend. I remember when the league created the supermax contract in 2017. And the intent of that contract was to keep players with their smaller market teams. It was a response to the player empowerment era, after LeBron created super teams in Miami and Cleveland, and when Kevin Durant did it with the Warriors in 2017. The intent was to discourage players from building super teams, and incentivize players to stay with the teams where their fan base was already established. I remember sitting in the car with my roommate when the supermax contract became official, and we debated whether or not it would actually be the remedy for player-created super teams. Well, if this Lillard situation is any indication, it hasn't done jack, as it appears he's about to get his wish, regardless of the massive contract extension. In the past, if a superstar player demanded a trade with that many years left on his contract, he would often be laughed out of the room. But now, modern players have learned how to manipulate situations and become such a PR nightmare for their current franchises that they basically have no other choice but to bend over backwards and adhere to the star's wishes. Whether it's Harden putting on a fat suit, slandering the general manager, or threatening to not play altogether, there seems to be no extent that players are not willing to go to in order to impose their will and control their destination. So with all of this being said, the Portland Trailblazers' decision on Lillard will have massive ramifications on the league's future. Based on the fact that he has at least 3 years left on his contract, they could just tell him to get over it and let him sulk in his sorrows while they have exclusive rights to his basketball abilities for the foreseeable future. Sure, he could refuse to play, but ultimately, the decision is up to the Blazers on whether or not they want to play that game of chicken with their star. If they give in and cater specifically to what he wants by sending him to Miami, then it will be the first time in my near 30 years of watching the NBA that I've seen a superstar player force his way to one specific team with 3 or 4 years left on his contract. If this happens, it will set an insane precedent within the league and usher in a whole new level within the player empowerment era. It will send a loud message to the current players within the league that no matter how long your contract is, no matter how specific your desired destination is, ultimately you have the power to force it into existence and on your schedule. If you hated this era of super teams, prepare for it to become infinitely worse as soon as Lillard puts on that Miami Heat uniform, earning supermax money on a contract he signed somewhere else. My brilliant editor actually made this great point, so shout out to him. But this would likely make the next CBA deal an incredibly wild event, as players and owners will be fighting for the balance of power. And I can promise you, the players will not want to give up that kind of power once they've obtained it. But I can also guarantee you that the league owners are sick of this BS. Players are quitting on their teams, players are ruining the reputation of their management, and the Supermax contract that was once seen as the answer to the super team problem is now essentially deemed useless as player empowerment appears stronger than ever before. At the earliest, the next CBA deal will be negotiated in 2029, but the likelihood of another NBA lockout is becoming much stronger as players continue to frustrate the owners and general managers with their manipulative power grabs. So what do you guys think about this situation? Does Damian Lillard deserve to have his wishes met, or do the Blazers not owe him anything after he signed the extension? This tends to be a pretty heated topic, but I'm curious to see specifically where my audience stands, so let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Thanks for watching as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more basketball content, and I'll see you guys in the next video.